So now back to my question.
Brockton.
So Brockton,
All right, go ahead. Let's do it.
I have a question that nobody can answer to me about Cape Verdean artists in the US. So there's more Cape Verdeans outside of Cape Verde than than yeah. So most people are like most Cape Verdeans, or maybe twice Cape Verdeans are in the US, right? And
A million. There's a million Cape Verdeans in the U.S.
okay, there's a million Cape Verdeans in the US and there's 500,000 in the islands.
Yeah, about a little bit more than that, though. I
Okay,
would say.
exactly, Kiara. Exactly. So I would love to understand because I've been coming to the US to perform for the Cape Verdeans and also the Haitians. And every time I came to Brockton to perform, to Tantric to perform, to Matrix, to all these places, you had so much people showing up for my shows, and you
Hmm.
had artists opening for me.
Hmm.
And how come you have all these people who are showing up for strangers like me, or for Cape Verdeans coming from Cape Verde, or from Holland, like back in the days, Nelson, Gilles, or Portugal, like George, and nobody was able, especially in the US, when everybody is used to using iTunes, Spotify, all these tools, how come all Cape Verdean celebrities live outside of the place where there's the biggest concentration of Cape Verdeans? It doesn't make sense in terms of numbers. If you have 1 million Cape Verdeans in that area, there should be one George out there. There should be one Nelson Freitas out there. But everybody's outside, and it makes no sense for me. Good luck.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
But you understand what I mean? It makes no sense.
That's the same thing that happens with the Haitian community as well. That's the same thing that happens with the Dominican community as well.
No, in the
That's the
Haitians, they
same
have
thing that
Karimi.
happens with the
They
Jamaican
have
community
Karimi.
as well.
Haitians have
Yeah, but
Karimi. They
Caribbean
live in
is.
Miami.
Oh, they live in Miami, but
They live in
They
Miami.
don't live in the New England area.
But they still are
That's
in
the
the
same
US.
thing. That's the
No.
same thing. I think from all, like, let's say, the it's an interesting question. It's a complex question. I think a lot of it has to do. Um, a lot of these artists become local artists, right? Whereas if I see a lot of artists, what I see with Cape Verdean artists in Portugal right now, they have become mainstream,
Yeah.
right? So the way they handle their business as an artist from a professional level, from the quality of the production, from the quality of the sound, from the music videos, it's completely different from a lot of what I see from a lot of Cape Verdean musicians in the US. I'll give you an example of a Cape Verdean musician which is world renowned that a lot of people do not know. Ora Silva, one of the great pioneers in jazz that influenced American music, American jazz. Ora Silva from mine, right? I'll even Mintz Brothers, right? They've even done. They used to be in California. They've even done tracks with big art with big American artists. They've even have scores in movies, right? like
Oh,
well established
the
artists,
Left Eye and TLC, and
exactly.
but they
Some of
seen as
these artists,
Americans.
but how do you measure success, right? Is it for you to be specific Cape Verdean to do a show at a local club?
What I
Because I
mean
see,
is,
I see Nelson and Georgie, or even see Segura. When we go to that market, we're trying to put things at a high level.
mhm.
You see what I mean? We're trying to do big rooms. We're trying to do stadiums. You see what I
Ralphie
mean?
knows the answer to the question because he lives there. Bro,
Well,
type, Ralphie.
yo,
No, what my question is not like, is there Convergence that are famous? Listen, I know that there's one girl from Instagram. She has 3 million followers, if not more. What's her name? Anna Montana. You have the ex-wife from Wiz
no,
Khalifa.
I'm not.
She's convert like. But what I'm
I'm
saying
not
is
talking. I'm not talking. I'm
on
not
the
talking about famous.
Kizomba.
What?
You see what I mean? I'm meaning on a Kizomba, Cape Verdian music, like the music, the
I don't.
modern
I
music
don't.
that we do, like
A lot of
deeper
it's the
rebound.
platform.
Where is, especially in the place where the platforms come from? Where
Exactly. A
is
lot of it is the platform. A lot of it has to do, for example, a lot of it has to do who's bringing the artist. What's the type of event that they doing, right?
now? It's not
Like
just performing, just in terms of making music and having. Listen, nobody brought me to Gelas and them brought me to Cape Verde, right?
yeah,
Cachupinha brought me to
exactly.
to the US to perform. Gelas and them brought me in the Cameroon market. I had people bringing me in Houston. In
Yeah.
Atlanta, I had a Frenchie bring me to Atlanta. I had Dominic, rest in peace, who brought me to New York. I had Marcy the Peanut bring me to Connecticut. I had people bring me to those markets with me doing my music in France. And I was making my songs and they blew up, right? What I don't understand is when you have amazing beat makers like Mark G, you have artists out there, right? And those beat makers, they make beats for us, they became huge. And you have like when we talk about Cape Verdean artists, they always either in Portugal or in Holland or in Cape Verde, and they explode from there. Where, look, Portugal is 10 million people. On these 10 million people, I don't know how many Cape Verdeans there are. 300,000, 100,000, I have no idea. France, yeah, you got Elysio. Like, we had all these places where you had Cape Verdean artists exploding, right? And then they go to the US, where it is the biggest market with 1 million people. And everybody, we made a ton of money, all of us. We were there. Whenever we come there, everybody go crazy. Everybody's at the shows. But then there's no local superstar. I don't say that there's no artists.
I mean,
I met all of them. But there's no superstar. And my question is, why? In the US, the places where like labels are made, where is the guy? I'm not saying where are the artists. I know they're there. I work with all of them. I make beats for them. They send me messages all the time. But where is the Nelson Freitas or the Judge or the Gilles or the whoever you want that come from Brockton, Massachusetts and Rhode Island area? Where is he? How come they invented the entertainment industry? Where is the fucking superstar? They should have one, at least one.
We're trying to build it. I'm trying to build it.
Thank you.
Okay, but to make
I understand that you're
your-
trying to do it, but all these years, where is he?
But keep in mind, let's take it back a little bit.
Then we're gonna
talking
look at
about-
the answers, because I see that the chat went crazy
Yeah.
all of a sudden. So we're gonna look at the answers, but I mean, we're
But
gonna
I tell
talk
you
to.
this,
Yeah.
can I just add something? Remember when you were having a conversation about the A&Rs? It's the other
Mm-hmm.
side of the music, right?
Yeah.
You need businessmen, you need A&Rs, you need folks that are willing to invest. Because if you look at it in the '90s, especially when you had like the boom of hip hop, like one of the biggest hip hop artists of Cape Verde came from the US, which is JJ. I don't know if you
Yeah.
remember when
Yeah. JJ. Yeah.
JJ
Yeah.
came
Yeah.
out.
I remember.
Like he has two classic albums, right? One of the big selling artists in Cape Verde is perhaps Chandiyu Dede, right? With his album, right? It came from the US, right? So I think what shifted, I think Cape Verdean music shifted places. It goes in the early '90s. You had Liviti, you had Splash in Holland. Then it shifted to the US. You had Timmy. I don't know if you
Mm-hmm.
remember
Yeah.
Timmy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, all of them. Then it shifted. I think right now the market is in Portugal. You guys, Georgie Nelson, then everybody's kind of going to Portugal because it's like a network that has been built there, right? I think the US now you have a lot of talent, but you don't
But
have
it
the
makes no
support nor the
sense.
platform to expose them.
It makes no sense. Like, you see what I
But
mean? And
let me ask you this: which market is your most high paid market in terms of cachet? It's the US, right?
not really. I made sure I had the same cachet everywhere, so I could perform for everybody and make money from the numbers. And actually, where I was selling the higher was Africa, because I
Okay,
knew that in the African markets I
I'm
would
talking
only
the
go once
diaspora.
or twice a year. But in
I'm saying
diaspora, I would
diaspora.
same price everywhere. That was my strategy. Same price everywhere so that we can do shows weekly. That was the because I was on a worldwide domination strategy, and for that I had to
Okay,
just keep a price that everybody
yeah,
could pay. So I could,
yeah.
and I wanted to play in the
That's it.
bigger place
That's it. The
and the smaller
strategy.
place. Huh?
That's it. The strategy.
Yeah, you know me. Strategies. That's
Yo,
wait. So
let's
let's
go to
let's let's look
the
at let's look at
chats.
the answers because the chat went. I think I touched something. I put my fingers in itchy asshole. Okay. Kiata says maybe they hate on each other like local artists do to each other in specific towns and cities in the US. When you are local, you have less value to the local community for some odd reason. Mm. Ralphie, who's from Brockton, says the reason why an artist can't grow in the US is because artists do not support each other. DJs don't want to play our songs because they believe they should get a payola. Okay, I understand, but then I grew in France and radio wouldn't play my songs because I refused to sing in French in the beginning. So my songs were played all around the world. And when I started asking myself these questions, then I went to Mark G and I asked him this question. Because I was like, yo, listen, me, I'm a guy, I see a lot of things as music, but I also see a lot of things as business. So I went here, I was like, yo, how many Convergence are here? And he was like, oh, 1 million. I was like, yo, that's a big market. How come I was like, how come there should be like a big label someplace, whatever, whatever. And I told Mark G, this is what I do, that, and he told me the same thing that Kieta was saying. People don't support each other here, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, listen, all you need to do, you find 5 artists, you make the great music that you do, and you put it on the internet, YouTube, iTunes, and it will blow up in France, everywhere there's Capverdians and Kizomba lovers. You just make the same beats that you do for us, for your artists, and even if it doesn't blow up locally, it will blow up outside. To me, it made complete sense. And even with the blueprint, they, after 10 years, I was like, wait, I keep meeting all these guys. They dress well. They seem to have like a little bit of fame, like the Pasada Barbosa, the Sterling Sound. I meet all these guys. And then I was like, and like they look good, like and I mean I meet the Lisa Lopez, and I meet all these singers, and I'm like, okay, the talent is here, and the market is here. And when we come to perform, I see people yelling for me, and this market is bigger than the ones we have. In Portugal, we don't have 1 million people. We had to open to the Portuguese people to reach, but we didn't have 1 million people who are from the culture. So in terms of in business sense, it doesn't make no sense. You see what I mean? And yeah. So let's say, wait. Focus one. US artists work a normal 9 to 5. Music becomes secondary to survive. That's exactly the answer that Lisa Lopez gave me when I asked her that
Give me
question.
one
She
minute.
was like, go ahead. So what you said, focus one, that's exactly what Lisa Lopez told me back when I asked her that question on episode 50 something. And she told me that. She says like, yeah, we all have a job, and like music is just something that we do on the side. There is no media and minimal spaces. I mean, everybody, listen. My music don't play on media. My music is just on Spotify and YouTube. So, like, and there's a media. It's called Mais Kizomba. So, when you say there's no media, I don't even know if we can say that there's no media, because YouTube is our media, and the platforms and the algorithms, we all use the same marketplace today. Artists think just because they got more views than others, that, oh, merci beaucoup Emmanuel Etienne, sponsor officiel, Club Shada. Artists think just because they got more views than others, they won't do a feature with other local artists. Okay? Local artists in America become as valuable to their community as a box of cereal on the shelf at the local grocery store. When you leave your home of origin, you get more respect. Well, this is like
But
everywhere in the world.
but listen, let me give you an example. For example,
Give me a second. Let's just watch all the answers, and then we can move from the answers. Cape Verdian media, where Nasty is saying Cape Verdian media is close to non-existent in the US since lights out DJs have moved on. Gelas is the culprit then. Gela, let's come back here. Promoters won't promote artists because they don't have the views they like. Same thing here. Pretty much 90% of Cape Verdian in America think local artists are just playing around with music. Okay? The local dance communities actually respect each other more than vocalists and musicians here in America. They have been building their own celebrity through social media. But you see what you're saying here, Kiara. It's something that people should actually look at and take as an example. Artists should build each other. Look, I've been working with Nelson Freitas, Siquat Pedro, Elijah, George, all these artists. We make some of the artists that I've worked with, they're not huge now. They're bigger than me. They're like 3 times bigger than me. But when I call them for a song, they just come. Because we build this network, and this is not impossible to build. It just takes a group of people, and they move together. Like when I did Sushiraw in 2003, our music didn't exist. There was like the sound that we brought didn't exist, but we came as a crew, and we just occupied a space. And in the beginning, the Zouk artists, in the beginning, nobody was against us, but they were looking at us like, let's see. So we did featurings outside. And today, especially today, and when I started asking myself this question was 15 years ago. It was harder. It was iTunes, etc. But today, everybody's on the same marketplace, which is Spotify and etc. Today, everybody is has access to YouTube and Spotify and the playlist and etc. And it's never been so easy today to send each other messages on Instagram with anybody. Listen, I got this guy called C-Mart sent me a message from Nigeria. He told me, yo, you a legend, you a king, I love your music, blah, 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 blah. I make beats and I sing as well. And I went to his Spotify. I checked the beat. I was like, damn, that's dope. And we produced 7 songs together. That's it. There was no money exchange. There was like, yo, you make some beats for me, I sing for you, you sing for me, and we just did exchanges. And everybody grew together. And it's not a question of working with local artists or finding a local artist to work with. When you have all the artists in the world are trying to exist in the marketplace that is now 345 million people just on Spotify. Just on Spotify. If you add Apple Music and Deezer and Amazon Music, that's the whole population of Cape Verde. If you add the billions of people who are watching YouTube, then you can just find like-minded artists who are trying to do it in India, trying to do it in Portugal, trying to do it in France, trying to do it in whatever. And you find them, you listen to what they do, you find their Instagram on their profile, you click, you send a message, yo God, love what you do, yo Queen, I love what you do, let's collab. Yo, you do house music, let's collab. You do zouk, let's collab. You do like, but I also believe that people love to point fingers at the marketplace, but people are also with the tunnel vision because everybody wants to be helped, but most people, they don't help themselves. It's like in a world like, listen, I received a message on Instagram yesterday from a guy in Nigeria. He said, yo, you are a legend. I love what you do, da 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 da. I hope one day I can have enough money to do a featuring with you. I know you out of my league, but I hope one day I can. I checked the message. I went on his profile. I checked a few songs. I was like, damn, that sounds good. Video quality on top, on point, etc. I went to Spotify. So on Spotify, I have 200,000 listeners monthly. I went to his Spotify, he had 50,000 monthly. Okay, that's a fourth of what I have. But I loved the music. So I put one of his songs in my playlist and I told him, hey, congratulations for that song. It's a great song. If you have another song that sounds like this, next time, leave a verse for me. And next time I have a kizomba or whatever, or maybe you have another beat like that, or one of my guys, Malcolm B, Steel Maro, makes a beat like that, or I do a beat of whatever, I'll invite you as well. And the guy just replied, oh my God, and that's it. And for him, it's, oh wow, it's Kaysha. And for me, it's like Nigeria. This is a market that, I'd love to have some songs out there playing in the clubs. And that's it. Still doesn't make no sense. So wait. I also think there's a big divide in between American born and those born in the island. Yeah, but still you can make music with everybody else. The Flyest and 700 in the Cal are also pretty big Cape Verdian artists from the US. But they just happen to make hip hop. Yeah, I'm just talking about you see what I mean? I create my label Fake Fear Entertainment because there is no support. Because everything has to come from a bigger name. Everything I possess come out of pocket. But then you should find people who think like you to connect And you see what I mean? And create your, like, listen, create your following like I created mine. What is the economy like in Cape Verde? That will also tell the tale. What's the biggest commodity in the country? Tourism, right?
Music.
And music. All right. Well, I support every artist I see and know, and I barely see that love coming back. Okay, I'll sing in one of your songs. Just send the beats. Gelas, let's see. Let's see the culprit. Now, Ralphie, I'm gonna support you. I put his songs on my playlist, but soon I'm gonna invite you in a track, and then we'll do an exchange. There's a few reasons for this, and we've talked about this before. One, as mentioned above, hate is part of it. Two, no infrastructure in place for the longest time. Three, no power radio to back it up. Four, taking the profession seriously. All right. Oh, there's more chat. Damn it. But the U.S. market needs context. There is no English-speaking platform to translate the culture. But listen, everything can be built, yo. I am Cachupina's business partners. We have all these convo all the time. It's tricky. Listen, me and Cachupina were trying to push this artist together. And yeah, we did one song, and then she, like, yeah. It was like, okay. He was tired of the girl quick. But people expect money for every little bit of work they do now, because they have not been able to let go of the recording industry of the past. That's very true. Listen, here's Lil Maro. He's gonna create 10 beats. Lil Maro, I have a mission for you. He's gonna create 10 crazy beats. I'm gonna create some beats myself, and we're gonna just invite people. Listen, look what I did with Lisa Lopez, for example. I invited her to 2 songs and give her name a boost, and then up to her to do the rest. You see what I mean? Kaysha, you know how to show artists love. That's big also, and I'm the same way. Nice. Well, we're gonna have to do stuff.
They mentioned.
You know who I'm talking about. Okay, go ahead.
I mean, I think the work that Lights Out did, they definitely left a vacuum in the market. You know, I think Lights Out and Gallus is here, were fundamental in promoting the Kizomba sound in the nightclubs and promoting the artists, the local artists, the work that Mark G did too as well. Because Kizomba, I think that market, the U.S. market, still consumes a lot of Kizomba, right?
Yeah, of course.
I think even like the classic, you go to the nightclub, if it's a Kizomba night, you have a lot of like old school Kizomba. Even the consumer that comes from the U.S., they want to dance to Kizomba. But it's true. What you're saying, what you're saying is true, you know. But it's not a one-sided thing. You have to look at it from a wide angle perspective, right? So it has to do with artists. It has to do with the you know, the efforts that the artists put. It has to do with the market. It has to do with a big market, that's the U.S. market, right? It's tough for a Cape Verdian artist. The language by itself, you know, that plays into account, right? The money behind it
is in English.
Well, I'm not saying, well, but that track had a huge impact, especially in the minority community, right? Because I was in college when that came out, and like I told you, those were crossover tracks. Those were tracks that you would go to a college party and people would play it, right? But nowadays,
I don't want to cut you off. I don't want to cut you off. Just don't want to cut you off. Hold that thought.
Yeah.
It's even I'm just gonna throw it in there and you continue. Imagine in a world where everybody and their mama, from Justin Bieber to everybody else, is doing a form of reggaeton, and reggaeton is now adding the rim shot that makes reggaeton sounds like zouk, sounds like kizomba. It's the same sound, it's almost the same tempo. Like, it's like, you see what I mean? It's just like, yo, like, it's not like back in the days when we were doing it, the marketplace was not ready. Today the marketplace, listen, if I was 20 years old now,
20 years old now with that mind. The mind that you have.
go ahead.
It's true, it's
You were
true, it's
talking
true.
about Pasada, I think.
Like, for example, Pasada, like, you remember, you know June. I don't know if you're familiar with June Freedom. June that did the track with Nelson.
Yes, yes,
Uh,
yes, 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 yes.
so June, so he's an artist that I work closely with, right? So right now he's about to release this album, and like I've listened to a lot of his tracks, and we have this conversation all the time, right? So he's someone that's been writing for a lot of major artists, and now he's doing his album. But then the question is, which market? How are we going to gravitate to all the markets? How is someone in Harlem going to know about you? How are you going to reach the market for an audience there? You see what I mean? So,
And here,
what type of art? What type of artist are you? Where do you want to be placed? Is it world music? Because you have some world music. Is it pop music? So, but I think he's an artist that has the potential to really cross over, right? So let's see, because there's so much things that you can plan with music, but then again, there's the music that becomes a global sensation. I remember when Master KG from South Africa, when he released the track, one of the first countries he came to perform was Cabo Verde. We were together talking about his tracks, right? This was like when he first hit. Right now, there's no way for him to come to this market just because of the demand he has nowadays, right? In terms of cachet and what he's doing. There's musics that you release and it just become a sensation of like a global hit, like a Macarena or
oh my God,
that's the
that's my
magic of
dream.
music, right? Right. You see, it's like how can you do it, right? So I think I'm about to do a service. 1 second. But yeah, but that question, what you asked, what you mentioned is it's something that really needs folks really needs to look into it. Interesting question.
Because it's a huge market. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a market that is, it's a market that has like 1 million people. It's not 1 million buyers, but in 1 million people, if you have 100,000 listeners, especially in a world where it costs $10 a month to listen to all the music you want. Back in the days, we could not even have our CDs arrive in those markets, and so we were only making money from shows. Back in the days, it was only shows, and like we could not bring CDs because of customs and all that shit. So we would go to Africa, Cape Verde, all these places just to perform. But nowadays, right now, in the market of today, your music is accessible to anybody's pocket. You can create listen. I look. Just look at this. Wait. Oh, now that I want to go, this thing is not working. Okay, wait. Okay, look. This is my market for the last 28 days. Everything that is big blue is how many people heard my songs in the US, in Canada, in Brazil, all South America, France, Spain, Portugal, UK, Russia, India, Australia, Indonesia, still look, Philippines, Japan, all over Africa, all these places. I got people listening to my music. CDs, those are all the CDs when people listen to my music. Paris, Lisbon, Amsterdam, Montreal, Rotterdam, London, Porto, Lyon, Zurich, Utrecht, Sao Paulo, Madrid, Bordeaux, Amadora, Brooklyn, Toulouse, Rio de Janeiro, Johannesburg, Los Angeles, the Bronx, Hamburg, Chicago, etc., Miami, Sydney, La Hague, all around the damn world, right? And in terms of music,
Can you stop? Can you stop? Can you stop 1 second?
yeah,
No Cabo Verde. Then I'll tell you why.
because the platforms is not available,
It's
right?
available. But I'll tell you
No,
why.
but YouTube is available. You see what I mean? YouTube is available. I don't know what you did, but now your connection is has gone horrible all of a sudden. Maybe you wanna hang up and call back as you wish. Because we hear you, but you sound like the Matrix got you. Just call me back. So, this is what I mean is the way people are seeing things, the way people are. He was here. The way people keep seeing the market, they keep seeing the market locally. And the answers of everybody is, yeah, but people, where the market is global. Every day, Spotify gets to a new country. And in every country where Spotify is not, YouTube is there. And you can, and if Spotify is not there, Deezer is there. If Deezer is not there, Apple Music is there, Amazon is there. Like you have, these marketplaces are doing everything to catch every soul that is living. So we cannot think of the industry the same way as we used to see the industry 20 years ago. The game done change.
Okay?
Yeah, better. More or less. Who's watching Netflix at this time? So, sorry. We are now in a marketplace that is global. And when the marketplace is global, you cannot come up with explanations that are local. Oh, nice. You're back now. Now you're smooth and pretty. So, like I was saying, everybody is coming to me with local explanations when the marketplace is global. Listen, the songs that are banging, on the quad, diamonds, something going on, sexual, have bossa nova, malembe, like I got all the new songs that are banging all around the world. 200,000 people listen to my songs all around the world every month. This is the map. And most artists, in their head, they just look at the marketplace like, yeah, I have to make it in my street. Where money is not made by selling CDs, the world has gone virtual. Nobody buys things anymore. People don't buy cars anymore because they have Uber subscriptions. People don't don't buy CDs anymore because they have subscriptions to all these services. People don't buy movies and DVDs anymore because they have fucking Netflix and Disney Plus. So as an artist, all you need to do is reach out to the world. I spent the last 20 years fighting so I could reach out to the world, and I had to send emails, I had to ship my CDs in envelopes and all that stuff. And today, everybody is, yeah, they just have to receive a link, they click play, and it plays. And people are still here telling me that, oh, you know, in my street, people don't support each other. Who cares about your street? You can reach anybody who is not. And listen, if you think, oh, they're too big for me, when it's in a marketplace where there's 60,000 new songs per day, it means that there's 1 million guys who are the same size as you or smaller than you. And all you need to do is reach out. Yeah, but they don't do Kizomba. Who cares? Go find fucking reggaeton artists in Colombia, in Cuba, in Venezuela, in wherever you want, and tell them, hey, listen, this is the same thing as yours. Just sing the way you sing. Go find people in Brazil, tell them to sing on your Kizomba, and then tell them to invite you in their funk and their samba, and create your own marketplace that looks like you. And to me, it is so obvious that I don't understand why it's not obvious to everybody else.
Because you're Kaysha.
All right.
But hey, you're right. I mean, you're right. You just nailed it. You know, you're right. There's no excuses.